Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Living Fiercely podcast. I am your host, Tiana DeRay, and today I want to talk about something that most people don't see coming until it is too late, and that is that your comfort is killing you, like literally, not in the way that you think, not like laziness or lack of ambition, because if you were lazy or lacked ambition, you would not be listening to this podcast in the first place, but in a way that is actually more dangerous because you don't even realize that it's happening. So let's take a look at the formula for your life, how I like to call it. So here's what I know. How good your life actually is comes down to how much uncertainty you can handle. That's it. Now think about that for a moment. How good your life actually is or can be comes down to how much uncertainty you can be okay with. Isn't that wild? Not how much money you make, not how much followers you have, not your job title or your accomplishments. It is just how much uncertainty you can actually handle and still keep moving forward. So most people will spend their entire lives trying to eliminate certainty. They want guarantees. They want to know exactly what's going to happen before they even move or take any action. But that's not how life works. And here's the thing. Most people are doing the opposite of what they actually need to do. They're running towards certainty, towards comfort, and what feels safe. And I get it. We all crave that certainty. Don't get me wrong. But your life, your real big life, and your potential, everything begins outside of your comfort zone. All growth starts there at the end of it. There is zero growth happening inside comfort, none. Now, you may think you've built this nice little comfort bubble for yourself and you're going to stay safe there forever. No, your comfort zone will not stay the same. It will actually begin to shrink with time. So let me explain. Each time that you step away from something because of fear, of doubt, of whatever it is, your nervous system learns that avoidance equals safety. So here's how it works. When you avoid something scary, challenging, difficult, or uncomfortable, your brain thinks, see, that was dangerous and avoiding it kept me safe. So your brain learns the pattern and reinforces it. So over time, your comfort zone shrinks and situations that once felt manageable will begin to feel overwhelming. And this is anxiety avoidance style. And it doesn't just keep the original fear alive. It actually spreads, making your whole world feel smaller, and more situations get added to the must avoid list. So the main problem is that avoidance teaches your brain that avoiding is the only way to cope instead of giving you the chance to learn to handle the discomfort, or that the situation might not be as bad as you imagine. So your nervous system adapts to what do you do? If you consistently avoid discomfort, your nervous system learns that discomfort is dangerous. So it makes everything feel more dangerous. You become more anxious, more reactive, and more stuck. And the worst part is that it happens quietly. You don't wake up one day realizing your world got smaller. It happens one avoided conversation at a time, one skipped opportunity at a time, one thing you talked yourself out of at a time. So before you know it, you're someone who doesn't do those things anymore. That became your identity. But that identity is not you. It was built through avoidance, through small choices to protect yourself. So there is no such thing as stagnation in life. Life is always moving forward. So you're either growing or shrinking. And when you stop growing, something inside you begins to deteriorate. You can feel it in your work, in relationships that become transactional. And you look at yourself in the mirror and the version of you that you no longer recognize. There is absolutely nothing humbling about shrinking your life to fit the size of your fear. Absolutely nothing. Now, let's take a look at the confidence trap. So people often mistaken their inaction for lack of confidence. They think that they need to feel confident first and then they will take action. So they wait around for the courage to show up before they do the hard things. They tell themselves, when I feel ready, when I feel brave, when I feel capable, then I'm going to do this thing. But that is backwards. Confidence comes after the action, not before. So you don't feel brave and then do the brave thing. You do the brave thing first and then you feel brave. And that's how confidence works. This is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. We think that feelings come first and then action follows. But that's not how us human beings actually operate. Actions create the feeling, not the other way around. So you need to learn to embrace your fear. Fear is a normal part of life. There will never be a moment in your life when fear will disappear. Fear is not a stop signal. That's what people think. They feel fear and then they think, okay, this is a sign I shouldn't do this, or oh, this is telling me to stay away, or this is telling me to be safe. But fear is actually a growth signal. It's pointing you towards where the growth is. So when you feel afraid, that's where your expansion lives. And that's where your next level is. So most people have it completely backwards. They see fear as a warning to stop. But fear is actually showing you the edge of your comfort zone. It is showing you the direction you need to go to expand. So think about the last time you did something that actually made you better, like something that actually grew you. I guarantee you felt scared before doing it or while doing it. Now, let's look at how your action rewires your nervous system. So action is what retrains your nervous system. Not thinking about it, not planning or visualizing, but actually doing the thing. So each time you do something that scares you and you survive it, you build evidence. You prove to yourself that discomfort is survivable. Your nervous system gets proof, like real proof, not theory, real. And that evidence compounds. So each small act of courage becomes proof that you can handle more. So the next time something scary comes up, your nervous system goes, oh, wait, we survived that before. We can probably survive this too. That's how your capacity actually expands, but it only happens through action, through doing the thing, not through thinking about it or through getting ready, through actually doing it. Now, let's look at your standards and how they are slipping. So here's something else that matters. Your standards determine what you accept. If you don't set a baseline standard for what you'll accept in life, you'll find it easy to slip into behaviors and attitudes that are far below what you deserve. When you're comfortable, your standards slip. You accept less because you got used to less. You stop pushing, you stop asking for more, and you accept what's there because it's easier than fighting for something better. And that is just accepting mediocrity. That's settling, and comfort is what creates it. And I see this happen to so many people. They start out hungry, they start out with standards, and then they get a little too comfortable and suddenly their standards start dropping. They will start to accept clients that they wouldn't have accepted before. They accept relationships that they wouldn't have accepted before. And they accept situations that they would have never tolerated before. And it's not that they became okay with less, but because comfort made them stop fighting. So for entrepreneurs, this is everything. In business, comfort literally kills opportunity. You get comfortable with what's working and then you stop looking around. You stop seeing what else is possible. And then competitor comes in with fresh energy and suddenly they're taking your market share. And not necessarily because they are better, but because they are hungry and they are not comfortable enough to stop looking. You were. So, how good your life actually is as an entrepreneur comes down to how much uncertainty you can handle. That's it. That's the difference. Not your intelligence or your education or talent, but only how much uncertainty you can actually tolerate. And the ones who make it and who make it big are the ones who got uncomfortable on purpose, who kept pushing past what felt safe. So they did not wait to feel ready or seek certainty first. They just kept moving into discomfort and building their capacity to handle it. That is the only difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck. One group will choose discomfort and the other one comfort. And that is the cost of comfort. Comfort feels better in the moment, but it will cost you everything in the long run. That is the real trade. That's what people don't understand about comfort. It feels amazing right now. It feels safe. It feels like you're protecting yourself, but you're paying for that comfort with your future. You are trading growth for comfort, opportunities for safety, and your expansion for stability. And the bill due comes eventually. This was another episode of Living Fiercely. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend who needs to hear this message, and I will see you in the next episode.